Yeah. Yeah. Lanier presents. Lanier presents. Lanier presents. Lanier presents. Yeah. Lanier presents. Lanier presents. Lanier presents. Let's go! True Science Fiction Issue 1 was released March 5th, 2019. It was a spur-of-the-moment date. I didn't really pick definitively when I wanted to drop the project. I just did a spur-of-the-moment. I just felt it, and I had some good instincts. Let me just tell you that. But that day also represents the start of the From Scratch Comics multiverse. And one scene in particular I view as the Big Bang is the chemistry lab explosion. Now, to me, the chemistry lab explosion is symbolic of this Big Bang, so to speak, as aforementioned. After this event, the floodgates open. This scene, to me, is symbolic of that. Prior to this event, there was nothing. My career as a comic book creator and writer didn't exist. Why, this very video would not have existed without that big explosion in that panel. Crazy how something in this 2D world can affect your own, right? To say TSF changed my life would be an understatement. It saved my life. It gave me hope. It gave me purpose and understanding. And that's what this explosion means to me. And it's cool as fuck too. So yeah, so this explosion is literally us seeing the birth of everything from Scratch Comics. The catalog, all the books that followed it, everything is directly right after this event, you know, as far as I'm concerned, symbolically speaking, that is. Fallen Rock, the setting, a small light town where everything goes down in this issue. Something so normal and boring that the thought of these strange events happening only heightens the fact that this is indeed a weird occurrence. It is also the first view of this world in general. Bradlee, the catalyst, the bully. It is strongly hinted that because he's the son of the mayor, he gets away with about everything. Even this massive event that leaves one of his classmates comatose gets swept under the rug, and he's unaffected by the damage he created for now. Yes, Bradlee is the reason for all this shit going down in this first issue. He's a bully. He picks on Chase and Alex relentlessly, and it reached a fever pitch to where this incident ends up happening. To say he deserves what happened to him at the end of this issue would be an understatement, to be honest with you. And the fact that his status allows him to get away with it, I think that comments on a lot of things that we see in real life all the time. So just another thought there for you. Alex Gerber, the villain, the proactive character. He's passionate, vengeful, angry, sad, power hungry, dramatic, red. The color red, of course. His whole aura is the color red. He reasons that he must use his powers to avenge Chase, but it's really up to the reader, meaning you, to decide if he's really as altruistic as it sounds. His powers to channel his life force into plants and animals to create monsters he can control. He's definitely one of my favorite characters to write because yes, he is very passionate, he's very dramatic. He's this embodiment of this fury, you know, like where he feels like he's been an underdog for so long, and now that he finally has his power, he's just lashing out with it. He revels in it, and he can't wait to use it against the people that have oppressed him for so long, or things that he feels has oppressed him. You know, I can really relate to that in a lot of ways. Like I say all the time, a lot of these characters, they embody pieces and parts of myself. Alex definitely has that underdog mentality that I've felt many times, and him wanting to use his newfound abilities to gain or garner this, that, and the third. I can relate to that. I can. Maybe not to the extreme where I want to, you know, torture a whole city or, you know, kill somebody or anything crazy like that. But yeah, you know, you gotta exaggerate some of these things. You know, that's what fiction's for. You know. Corey Chase Collins. He's the hero, the reactive character, quotation marks. He's courageous, calm, brave, thoughtful, introspective, selfless, and the color blue. He arrives just in the nick of time to save the day, but just like the shonen protagonist that inspired him, he is absent during the antagonist's rise. His powers are that of a psychic. He has telepathy, telekinesis, psionic energy, astral projection, and a ton of other mysterious yet to be revealed abilities. He is determined to stop Alex from becoming like the people who have abused their power that have literally hurt them and others. Chase, unlike Alex, doesn't overexert his powers until he is forced to. They do not corrupt his moral compass when he could very easily be one of the most powerful characters in the universe. Chase is a great character to me, simply because he's probably the purest form of a hero that you see in the true science fiction universe. A lot of the characters have a morally gray area, or they're just straight up villainous, but Chase, he always stays calm. He's always the light of hope, and I think that's why he's definitely blue to me. And he literally glows because he's that beacon, he's that light. He literally is the hero. Flowerhead, the first of Alex's creatures. He is dedicated to his master, unwavering in his pursuit to inflict chaos upon fallen rock. He is of course a plant-based monster. His eyes glow red. He has no face but has pretty pink petals around it. He is also the main corner box logo for the True Science Fiction series, and he makes appearances, albeit cameo or Easter egg appearances, across the From Scratch Comics catalog. He's perhaps the first iconic character of From Scratch Comics, and by that I just mean like a breakout character, one that people think of when they think of the series. But then again, I mean, now that it's so many characters that it could probably be anybody. But to me, I felt like Flowerhead was the one that just stood out the most in this issue. And yeah, at that time, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, and it's always a privilege, just just seeing him pop up, and even if it's just his corner box logo, I think it's iconic. So I never want to change that as far as all the true science fiction books that are going to be seen or whatnot. And I love just putting him in different books, like just little random cameos. I wonder if you guys have caught them all. We'll see about that if you have. The conflict. Ultimately, Alex and Chase clash as the two best friends try to coerce the other to no avail. Alex is determined to kill Bradlee, and from there exert his superiority. He is utterly consumed by his power to the point where he's even attacking Chase, the very same person he was avenging. Chase, on the other hand, is trying to reserve himself in taking down his best friend. Alex and Chase are two sides of the same coin, complete foils for one another. Chase finds he has no choice but to match Alex in power, so he unleashes a huge wave of energy that wipes out his remaining creatures and leaves them both drained and unconscious. Bryce Industries. When the dust settles and the news cameras start to roll, we're introduced to the very mysterious Dr. Kirby, and more importantly, his employer Bryce Industries, who will promptly take in Alex and Chase for further study, promising their families to help and assist them both, setting in motion their continued conflict amongst one another and Bryce Mandrake himself and others. Bryce Industries is a very key component in this series. They're introduced in such a small capacity in the first issue, but they just have this big overarching arc and theme and importance to the series overall. Oblivia. Mayor Jean discovers Bradlee's new form and is determined to cure her son. Scientists and doctors alike are unable to restore him to his previous state. So Mayor Jean, having heard whispers of magic, seeks to find a solution that way, leading her to none other than Oblivia. She's green, beautiful, deadly, otherworldly. We can see immediately that Oblivia is immensely powerful and arrogant. Oblivia, when we first see her, has made a cave high atop the mountains her home, and she is not keen on visitors, let alone those seeking her assistance. She teases Mayor Jean, toying with her about the possibility of restoring Bradlee. But at the slightest annoyance, Olivia resolves to condemn Mary Jean into the same fate as her son, transforming her into a mantis and finishing off Bradlee herself. Olivia expands the lore of true science fiction exponentially, and we'll have more to discuss about her specifically and her origins when we break down True Science Fiction number 2 and her home dimension of Elsewhere. Olivia she's definitely the wild card of the True Science Fiction 1 issue, where you just don't expect to see a character like this pop up in the first issue. But just like Alex and Chase, she's a part of this really core, of this big 3 core of the story. And she's definitely one of the 3 protagonists, the central characters, I guess I should say. But then again, that's not really true, because all the characters are really central characters, because they're all moving the pieces together, and each issue switches from this, that, and the third. So yeah, it's very interesting. But I think that'll conclude our first analysis of True Science Fiction 1. I'm glad if you stuck around. I'm just happy that you sat through me spitballing and just going over things briefly, and things like that. It takes a lot of time to make these episodes, so I try to make sure it's concise and easy to digest for people. I hope other people can do their own analysis of the series. I'd be proud to hear that and see how that works. I'm a big fan of these analysis on YouTube and stuff like that. So, and be sure to check out coolestdolo.com. That's COOLESDOLO.com. Check out our online store. Please be sure to support us, and you have a great day. Bye.